it's Bunny Girl, and today with me we have Wizz. Who else but Wizz? That's the name of his channel. Hi, Wizz.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Hi,
Wizz,
Sarah.
Wizz is camera shy, that's why you can only see me, and you see this poster here next to me, so yeah. Both of us actually watched Star Wars Rogue One movie, and I did want to make a review about it, but you know me, I am really bad at making movie reviews, and it takes me really long, and I usually discuss a movie like after I watch it with my friends, and I came up with the idea, actually Wiz came up with the idea, why not record the discussion? Why not record our opinion and what we haven't talked about the movie at all. I have no idea, did he like it, how much he liked it, his rating or anything like that. That's why we made up like 5 questions, and each one of us will answer these questions, and by the end we will give you a rating about the movie, like my rating, his rating, and in the comment below you can leave your rating. Let us know with whom you agree, why, how, and maybe answer these 5 questions as well. So yeah, why aren't you speaking? Yay!
I'm speaking. I don't want to talk over you. It's fine.
Okay. Ask it, Wiz. Ask the first question.
Okay, so what is it you liked, in general about the movie?
Okay, who would answer first, me or you? You go first, your English is better.
Okay.
I'll agree, disagree.
Okay. I really just liked the way it felt original, and it felt like Star Wars, but it felt very different to, sort of the episodes we're used to seeing. And you could tell it was a different take on Star Wars, and that took a little while to get used to that idea, but then once you got really stuck into the story, I actually really liked it.
What else can you tell me? What did you else like about it? How about the soundtrack? How about the visual effects, the CGI, the plot?
Well, the soundtrack was different, and I noticed that a lot. I'm not too
but it wasn't so different. They kept the original theme, and they didn't want to overuse original themes. But for example, when Darth Vader appears, they make sure we know that Darth Vader is appearing in the next second because of the original music.
Yeah, exactly. And so they kept a similar theme with the music, but again, it felt in certain parts it felt very different. They used different notes and notes we don't normally hear, and it felt organic, and I like that.
Yeah.
The CG effects were phenomenal. Before
you talk about the visual effects, I just wanted to add one thing when it comes to the soundtrack and the music. Immediately from the start, when like Star Wars Rogue One with the blue colors, not the yellow one, appeared from the title, you immediately see like, okay, yes, I'm giving you a Star Wars movie, but wait, forget everything, I'm giving you something new, something different. So even the notes immediately, like, in a way, made me wake up and made me get surprised by it. So from that start, I knew, okay, yeah, it's Star Wars movie, but this one will be different.
Yeah. So Industrial Light and Magic are probably the best, visual effects company in the world. ILM have, pushed the benchmark of CG in all the films, that they create, and the visual effects are second to none. I thought the visual effects phenomenal. A little maybe grey in some areas, but overall, phenomenal visual effects.
What are the visual effects that you mostly liked about it? Explain some scenes maybe, or something, like mention some scenes or some environmental places or something. Like for me, Scarif, like from the moment the Alliance appeared there and the fight started until the end of the movie, I mean, all the scenes on the beach were so amazing. And it was broad light, like everything is blue and yellow, and you see there is not a lot of darkness with it, so they can hide it in fog or mist. They can't hide the visual effects. So it was broad daylight, and you can see everything. And then all the fighting scenes there in the, like, even when the the ships were flying around and fighting, you could see it all in details.
Yeah. I think the standout visual effect for me was, now I've only just learned this, you might not know this, but it took me a while. I didn't know this until after the film, and I went and researched it, but the return of Grand Moff Tarkin. The original actor who played Grand Moff Tarkin in the original Star Wars film, his name was Peter Cushing, and Peter Cushing died almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, and
20 years ago, and that was I was blown away when he turned around. I really did lost my mind.
I told my bunnies on Lazy Sunday stream, I told them, guys, I will not spoil anything to you, but this is an information that you really need to know before watching the movie because it will shock you. There are 2 characters that don't exist in the movie. They are CGI, but you think they are real. That's how good they are. When he turned around, I was like, are you kidding me? And I thought he will not turn around. You saw his like blur on the window, and I was thinking, okay, they will keep the voice, they will keep it more mysterious. He will not turn around because it's easier, no CGI required or anything like that. But he freaking turned around, and it looked like a human being in front of me. What?
Yeah, and I actually originally thought it was, wow, this is a really good lookalike. So I didn't realize it, and then I realized later that he was. So they used a combination of both CG and live acting.
Yeah, I think the dots. I think they used the dots for expressions. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they used a live actor called Guy Henry for the body
it's
to
all.
stand in.
I suck at names and actors and actresses and places. I suck with that. But that's why I have you here.
Yeah, there you go.
Who else appeared and was CGI?
Yeah, definitely Princess Leia at the end. You know, I really did not think we would see her. I really didn't think we would.
So
I thought we might. I was so happy. I was really shocked. You know, they got it spot on, and literally at the end when she showed up, I acted like a little girl. I was like, yee! And I kind of clapped my hands, and I was really happy that she was there.
Me
and
too.
The voice was spot on, and whoever did the voice for Grand Moff Tarkin was spot on with the voice as well. That very, you know, pompous British, you know, you may fire when ready. You know, the very, very, you know, just like the original actor, and it was incredible.
I still have a lot of things that I liked about the movie, like the appearance of Darth Vader, of course. I am happy that he didn't steal the show here. I'm happy that the movie wasn't about Darth Vader, but we did see him in the trailers.
It was subtle, yeah.
Exactly, like
he
was enough there, and whenever he appeared, he was epic. Like, he showed us how stronger he is than any of these characters. Last scene, I don't know if you remember this.
Yes.
He was on the ship, and like the lightsaber, the red one.
That was one of my favorite scenes, you know, sort of.
You just hear it.
It went dark. But we've never seen Vader really just murder a bunch of people, unless, of course, you count the younglings from episode 3. We've never really seen Vader in suit murder a bunch of people, and I was waiting for
and
that.
Even when we did see him, it was like 1-2 action sequences. But this, he murdered more than 20 people in seconds. And every single death was like different, used differently.
Unique.
He used the force, unique, and different ways of using his force and using the lightsaber. I mean, bro, and then like he wanted to get that card and he failed, and the ship went by and he stood there with his lightsaber behind him, like 4 or 5 stormtroopers, and the ship is destroyed and everything is destroyed, and every like smoggy dark feeling I had there, and like, you know, it's not over, he'll be back.
Story was anyway, we knew what the you know, they were going out to do is to get the Death Star plans. We knew that from the get-go, what the mission was. And I really liked the end scene where Jyn and Cassian are on the beach of Scarif, and the Death Star's been fired, and she kind of she looks at him, and she's got this look of complete acceptance that she's going to die, but she feels proud enough that she did her mission, and she, you know, managed to get the plans. Yeah, exactly.
It was the same look on every single one who knew he's dying. And that's the look, like, we accomplished what we came for. This was, like, for example, is that how it's pronounced, his name?
Yes, Cheriton Way, yeah.
The Force is with you, the Force is with me, I'm one with the Force.
I'm the one with the Force, yeah.
Oh my god, like, his mission was only to do that, like to turn on the signal or to lower down the shields.
He walked through the fire, you know, he walked through the blaster fire from the Death Troopers. You know,
that was so epic.
Incredible.
And his friend, Baze Malbus. Baze Malbus was like, what the hell are you doing? Come back! Darn it!
Yeah.
What? And he's like, the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force.
He was dedicated to the idea of the Force, and he's, you know, he's not a Jedi, But big props to Donnie Yen. I think he's definitely one character that I'll remember for a long time, and I think it's one character that was just beautifully played. The martial arts of that guy blew me away.
Yes.
It was a beautiful thing. He really is incredible. And there was like little subtle parts of comedy when he was doing his martial arts, where he puts his staff in the stormtrooper's foot and he says, "Is your foot all right?" And then he kicks up the staff and he kind of hits them again, and it was brilliantly done.
That's the first scene that I was like, F yeah, like when he started fighting stormtroopers on what's the name of his planet? That's where the temple. Jeddah. When it comes to the ending, I have just one remark here. When Jin and the captain, what's the name of the captain? Wait, Cassian. When both of them died, I was like their death reminded me a lot of the movie Melancholy. Is that the way how to pronounce it? I don't know if you saw that movie.
I don't think I did.
But that movie was about a planet approaching Earth and killing Earth. And the last death scene where like the family was sitting and waiting for the planet to hit Earth. So you see from far away that it's coming, and then there is a light, and that's it. You know they're dead, but you haven't seen it actually, and that's what they did here. You didn't see the death of so many characters, and they overused it, in my opinion. Like every character, we didn't see. Like her father died, and we saw it, and we felt it. And when he said like, "I have so many things to tell you," but he died before telling.
Yeah.
That death affected me more than Jin dying in that way. I knew she was dead. I felt sorry, but my mind couldn't comprehend it because I didn't see her dying. I think it would be better if Jin or Captain died by the hand of director Orson. I am reading their name because I really don't remember names. Orson Krennic. Krennic. If he, for example, killed her in his hands or killed him in her hands, at least one of them, if they died that way.
Yeah, I mean the story kind of tricked us into thinking Cassian was dead because he was kind of shot off, he fell, and I was like, well, that's him done. But and he came back. But I thought it would have been better if we saw Krennic grab Cassian and maybe shoot him, to bait her in, sort of thing. I thought that would have been slightly better.
He should have at least shoot one of them. I mean, maybe that's bad to say, but his purpose was there to shoot someone, kill someone. Maybe one of them would be more epic if one of them died that way. I mean, I knew that they will die. I knew that all of them will die because
how else would they explain them not being in episode 4?
Exactly. And they said like the mission was fine, but everyone died, and we knew that from other movies as well.
There was a couple of things I wasn't too sure about. The way the movie, I can justify the fact that there was no opening crawl, there was no opening text crawl. And I understood that it's not an episode, it's a spin-off film. But I was still, as you said,
always they explain it,
I was still expecting that. I was expecting the Star Wars music at the beginning and the text crawl, but I'm thinking, well, it doesn't really need that. So they kind of just, very abruptly start the film, and then, after the first couple of scenes, they bring up the Rogue One text. Now, I'm not being funny. Whoever chose that Rogue One text, it looked very cheap to me. It looked like someone had just gone into Microsoft Word and just typed Rogue One and then chose like an old English style, stencil type text and then, pasted it onto screen. It looked really cheap. I thought that the Rogue One logo that we've been seeing on the posters would have been better to kind of have.
Oh my God, you broke. What did you say? For some reason, your mic broke down.
Oh.
It would better. The title would have been better on the poster. You mean?
Yeah. I think that I think I would have enjoyed it more if sort of the Rogue One logo that we've been seeing on the posters and everything.
Honestly, I haven't even noticed that. I was so excited listening to the music. It just flashed by.
But the music was different as well. The music was totally different. It was, and I didn't like that opening music when the Rogue One logo came up. It was different. It was music. It was very different, and it kind of made it feel like a fan film. it felt like a very kind of like a royalty-free type Star Wars music, and I was just like, nah, this doesn't. Yeah, okay, whatever. You know, big props to Ben Mendelsohn, who played Director Krennic. What an incredible performance. I mean, really, I don't know this actor. I've never seen any of his work, but Ben Mendelsohn he nailed it. He really gave Director Krennic a sense of ambition and kind of terror. The way he was very sarcastic in his approach in that beginning scene where, you know, sort of...
he knew that Galen was lying.
Yeah, exactly. And he kind of, you know, said, oh, you know, my condolences. And then...
Oh, look at her appearing!
And he looked at his elite troopers and he was like, search the house, you know? And he was very direct. And I guess you would be being a director. But he was very direct. The frustration, I mean, that's not an easy thing to convey. That to me was very reminiscent of when Kylo Ren shouted traitor at Finn in The Force Awakens, you know, when he really screamed traitor. That was amazing as well. To really let them see that frustration and anger is not easy to do, and he did a great job at that.
Exactly. And remember the scene with him and Darth Vader, and he was like, just to make it clear, I'm still in charge, right? And then like,
yes. I mean, James Earl Jones, again, fantastic performance. He's always nailed the Vader voice. It sounded different, obviously, because James Earl Jones is a lot older now, so it will sound deeper and slightly older.
But it's good.
But
it gives him more power.
It gives him more power. It was fantastic, and I like the way he was kind of, you know, sarcastic with him, where Director Krennic said, you know, no, I'm just pressed for time as well. There's a great many things to attend to. And Vader goes, my apologies. You know, very sarcastic, you know, but also intimidating, sort of where he steps towards Krennic. And, you know, Krennic says, you know, I deserve an audience with the Emperor to make sure he understands its remarkable potential, you know, and he looks Vader up and down and he realizes, you know, don't annoy Darth Vader.
Don't do that. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really get the significance of when Bodhi Rook was taken away to be interrogated by Bo Gullet or whatever they were calling it. I don't know the pronunciation.
Yeah, we didn't have time to understand that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really get what was the significance of him, you know, a torture scene. I mean, again, I guess they had to do some kind of torture scene, but that was a bit of not a time waster, but I was just like, what's the significance of this? But you know, yeah, Saw Gerrera, interesting character. I had a hard time sometimes sort of understanding what he was saying. He had a very unique sort of take on words, and his you know, the kind of personality he created for Saw Gerrera.
And then she mentions their history when she appears in front of him, and he's like, oh, I did care about you and whatever. Like, we didn't see any of that, so we couldn't understand. And I was like, I don't care about him dying by the end, when he was like, okay, go, leave me, I accomplished my mission. Like,
yeah,
bro, I had 5 minutes with you on screen, so I have no idea what's happening. But yeah.
And can I just point out, I mean, another cameo as well. Well, there was two cameos. I don't know if you noticed. I forget where it was, but at one point we see the two from the bar scene in episode 4, the ones that go up to Luke and go, he doesn't like you. We see them in the film. They pop up and they you know, that was a nice little cameo.
You noticed that. Good job. I did it.
Yeah.
When I rewatch it, I will pay attention.
But I also loved the fact we saw Bail Organa. You know, Jimmy Smits as Bail Organa, we saw him return. He was obviously in the prequel films, and he played Bail Organa, and
when
he's now back for Rogue One. Yeah, so...
And he didn't look like that older.
No,
honestly. They made him, I think, look the same age.
He's
or a
pretty
bit...
well. He has aged. I love the fact that he mentioned to Mon Mothma, you know, about Obi-Wan.
Yeah, like, I know a
friend,
yeah. I think it wasn't about Obi-Wan. I think about Layla. I think he was talking about...
It was both. It was about both. She goes, yeah, she says to him, you know, your Jedi friend, you know, and he says, I'll contact him. Yeah. And then she says, you'll need someone you can trust. And he says...
I trust her.
Her. Yeah, I trust her with my life. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so happy when I heard, because I know what he's talking about. I felt really happy about that. And then when they said like war is inevitable, and when they explained like war just started. In this movie, war started. Like this was that tipping point, or how they say it, for the war to just happen. Everyone was like waiting for something, for a purpose for the war to start, because they knew about the Sith and the dark side, and that they are planning something, but they didn't know what, how, what's the weapon, the Death Star. They had no idea. Then when they said war started, like that's it. Favorite character,
I think for me is kind of a toss-up between Chirrut Imwe and director Krennic for me. I think that Chirrut Imwe was just a different take. We've never really seen someone who, you know, is force sensitive, who's not a Jedi. I thought his devotion to the Force and the idea of the Force was beautiful. You know, that he was very devoted to this religion.
Totally agree.
It's
not a religion, it's a belief.
A belief.
Yeah.
Belief.
There's difference.
Yeah, sorry. And director Krennic, again, just his personality, the kind of, you know, the very ambitious director of military intelligence who wants to, you know, be in charge of his Death Star. And obviously him and Governor Tarkin are fighting over that. And he obviously wants an audience with the Emperor, and he thinks he should have an audience with the Emperor, that he's done so well and he's accomplished so much. But in the end, it kind of, you know, it all goes sideways, and, you know, it doesn't turn out how he would expect. But it was a fantastic performance from both of those actors.
Exactly. For me as well, like besides Krennic, I do agree with you about Chirrut. He is the favorite because he actually explains to you, and that's him. He's a blind guy who believes in the Force, and he has hope about it. He's not a Jedi, but still he shows you how other people portrayed or felt like about the Force at that time, and his skills, like even in action, or if he's just sitting and talking, he always had deep emotions and beliefs in it. Like he fought with all his life, and he spoke with all the Force within him, even though he didn't have the Force, but he believed in the Force, and he wanted to be a Jedi. And how about the costumes? How about the look at this.
Yeah, but my favorite costume for me is actually, I love the Death Troopers. They were really intimidating. They were
black
different.
ones.
Yeah, director Krennic's. You know, they're actually taller than normal stormtroopers. You know, they're about a foot or so taller, so they're quite big men, and they're very formidable, and sort of, you know, they had that weird kind of voice, that kind of voice. It was creepy. It was like they were kind of angels of death almost. You know,
and I liked that not all of them are clean. For example, if I didn't want to do this, but if I compare this movie to The Force Awakens was like all the robots and all the costumes, everything was clean and new. It gave you a new, but this one, you can see gritty. Like there is grudgy feeling, and all of even the stormtroopers, the like black and white, even on the white you can see that it's already been damaged and grudgy. Yeah. So I like that. Your final rating, bruh. This is mine, guys. This is my rating. Yeah. Perfect handwriting. Now tell me yours.
A 9.
Okay, why a 9? Why not 10?
Well, you know, it's you got to really justify a 10. You know, it wasn't.
Of course.
It wasn't perfect. You know,
I honestly don't like. I don't like to ever give a movie 10 out of 10 because there is always space for improvement. That's what I think. Yeah, but exactly. Why not 9.5? Why not 9.5, for example?
Well, why not 9.5? Again, there was just a few things that I didn't like, you know, sort of that could be changed to make it a 9.5. You know, maybe the crappy text at the beginning, you know, it looked so cheap. I was just like, come on now, we're not 4-year-olds. It didn't look great. But again, you know, that's what they chose to do for whatever reason. Maybe they did it for a more vintage style look, which I can understand. But yeah, no, for 9.5, there would just be a few things they would have to change. But overall, a fantastic movie.
But did you see how they were authentic when it comes to the ships? They gave them a look like they are made out of small ships, and the camera is zoomed in to show us. You could see that it's not CGI. Maybe it is, but they showed it look like it's plastic. Like,
yeah, it did look a little plastic sometimes. I noticed that with one of the Star
why
Destroyers.
do you think they did it like that? Because they wanted to give it more authenticity to the older movies, where they actually did use small ships and like put it on fire or bombarded it, whatever, and like zoomed in the camera to look as if it's big, but it's actually a small ship. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This is long, unedited, uncut, just a discussion, or Bunny Girl's thoughts and Wizz's thoughts. Make sure to check his channel. Who else but Wizz? He makes a lot of gaming content. He plays Battlefront. He's a huge geek when it comes to Star Wars, bigger than me, and that's why I chose him to be here in this video. Also, I have a Stormtrooper mask, by the way. Thank you so much for watching. Stay awesome. Bunny Girl's out. Bye, Wizz.
Bye.
See ya.